Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elise. I talk all things elevated living, conscious consumption, and being mindful of the impact we have on the planet. If you like that kind of stuff, subscribe, stick around. I think you'll like this channel. In today's video, I'm talking about things that I have swapped from the traditional option to the more sustainable option and that have actually saved me money, either in the long run or just upfront has saved me money. And I'd like to touch on this because I did recently make a video about things that I'll never buy again, but it's like, okay, if you're not buying the traditional thing, what are you doing instead? And this is that video, so I hope you guys enjoy. If you like this kind of content, definitely like it down below. It lets me know to keep it coming for you. But let's get into it. So I have 4 different categories listed out. They are, I'm looking at my notes here, they are personal care, beauty/clothing, food, and then lifestyle. And I'm going to go through each and every one of those and just kind of give you what swap I do instead of the traditional thing. First and foremost, if you are on any of like my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube shorts, you have seen me promoting the heck out of this salt menstrual cup. And they also have like discs and period panties. Any sustainable menstrual care period is what I'm swapping into. So I have their period panties that I love for overnight wear instead of a pad, or I'll put, if it's like a super heavy day, I'll put on like a disc and a cup and the period panties just to be like extra sure. Typically in my day-to-day while I'm on my period, I do use the cup. This one's not used, so let me just show you really quickly. It's just this little medical grade silicone guy that like forms a seal to your body. It keeps me dry, comfortable. There's a new study that they did with People Science that shows that participants that swapped to a disc or cup from tampons were 6 times less likely to have cramps. And I just wanted to share that with you because not only are the financial and sustainability benefits like out of this world, but if you can be more comfortable while on your period, like wouldn't you want to be? So I just want to share that with you. If you feel like your periods are just so awful, like, and there's no escaping them, like just try a cup or a disc. It doesn't even have to be salt, but just try something. I do have a discount code. I'll leave it down below and up on the screen for you to get 5% off your purchase. But beyond pitching it to you, I just truly love this product so much. If you have seen my sustainable period care video, I suggest you watch that if you're interested. I talk way more in depth about the cup before this new study even came out. What kind of sparked that video was like toxicity in tampons, but then also looking at the financial cost of disposable period care. Not only is it super expensive to be buying tampons and pads for your entire lifespan of like your period, which is what, 3 decades or something like that, and just the thousands of dollars that you will eventually spend on menstrual care, it's just, honestly, it's a no-brainer to switch to something that, this is $32, which this is kind of what I'm talking about of like, okay, up front, it might be more expensive than buying like a box of tampons and a box of pads, but in the long run, if this is $32 that lasts you 10 years, this is like 1 month's cost of supply of like period care from the drugstore. So again, I super love this. And if you don't want to try like their disc or cup, you can definitely try their period panties. I have like a thong from them that's like lacy and cute, and like I just feel better wearing it even when I'm on my period. Honestly, go watch that period care video if you really want to hear like my in-depth thoughts of a sustainable period and what that really means. I mean, just billions of menstrual products are thrown away annually, and that is obviously a huge amount of waste, but now come to find out like you're actually less comfortable. And of course we all know like there's the pink tax and you're already paying all of this. So just, yeah, very first sustainable swap. We are hitting hard out the gate. It is my menstrual cup and my period panties. I love them to death. Like ride or die for sustainable period care. Okay, next one is a little bit more tame, but I love bar soap. Instead of like body wash or liquid body wash, I just feel like it lasts so much longer and it is so much cheaper without all like the gimmicky scents and like seasonal things and obviously all like the plastic packaging waste. You can like mix and match more. You can get smaller sizes, bigger sizes. Like I feel like bar soap has like infinite potential. And I also don't buy shaving cream because I feel with bar soap you can get such a nice lather. I have talked about, I think in my first ever things I'll never buy again, shaving cream was like the top of the list because I think it is just such a stupid invention. Maybe for people like with facial hair, it makes more sense for you to use shaving cream, but I just think it's honestly atrocious that like people are being sold shaving cream and like for what? You just need a bar of soap and to moisturize your skin after. That's it. Anyway, Bar soap, I feel like just lasts so much longer. It's better for the environment. You can get different like super sustainable kinds of bar soap. We just buy ours from Whole Foods because they do typically go on sale, which is really nice and like helps you stretch your budget like even further. But we're not thinking about, oh, what scent of bar soap should we buy this time? Do we want like vanilla spice or do we want like cedar woods? Like it's nothing crazy like that. It's like mint or lavender or something citrusy. Like it's nice and exciting and you can still switch it up, but it's like $5 for a bar versus I don't even know how much body wash is these days. Like I would say like $8, $9, $10 for just a little Bath and Body Works bottle. And they're like not good for you. All of that fragrance and all of those, I mean, obviously everything in bar soap is also a chemical, but chemicals in the sense of like these are like concoctions in a lab versus, you know, something like lard with an essential oil or something. Bar soap is definitely also something I'm like, it just makes sense. I also have swapped from disposable razors to my leaf shave razor, which I love and adore. It's similar to a safety razor in the sense that you replace the blades with like new razor blades after, it depends what you're using it for. If you're dermaplaning, that's another swap I've made. I have a leaf dermaplaner and a leaf razor, but the head is actually like a pivoting head because before the leaf shave razor like came out, and they sent it to me actually, like thank God they did because I'm obsessed with it and I'm telling you about it now. I was using a safety razor and I had like definitely nicked myself here and there, taken like chunks of skin out. Like it was kind of dangerous and like you have to be super, super precise and careful. But with the leaf shave razor, like because the head is pivoting and it kind of like goes with the contours of your body, it definitely feels a lot safer and I get such a close shave. Disposable razors could never. After like 4 or 5 uses, I remember being a kid and just like constantly having to throw them away. Not like a kid, but you know, like a teen, like young adult. And then when safety razors and leaf shave razor came into my life, it like definitely changed the game for me. And I feel like what always got me with these like disposable razors was like the moisturizing bar, but like even that does not last you the entire lifetime of the razor. Like that goes away before you're done with the blades and then you have to replace the head or just throw out the whole thing and get a new one. And when they stop making your kind of razor, then what are you going to do with replacement heads? Like it's a whole thing. And I know with leaf shave and like the razor that I'm using specifically, all I have to do is buy razor blades. And those are like super, super cheap. I could get like a pack of 20, a pack of 50, a pack of 100, and that is going to literally last me a lifetime versus having to buy a new disposable razor every 2 months. If that, I don't even know how long they last anymore. Probably not that long. And I don't even know how much they are anymore because I haven't bought a disposable razor in ages. Even when I travel, no, that's not true. I did, I think, try to travel once with my safety razor and they confiscated it. I mean, obviously, like you can't have a razor on a plane. Yeah, I think the only time I would get a disposable razor is traveling. And even then I like make sure to like shave or like do all my body care before I know I'm going on like a trip. It's not really been an issue. Moving on into beauty and clothing. This one is also like super broadcast on my channel. None of this is going to be a surprise to you, I don't think. Very first and foremost, I have stopped buying fast fashion and have swapped to buying quality basics that are going to last me a long time and stay in my wardrobe and things that are more like capsule wardrobe-esque that are really easily mix and matchable and I can layer them together and they last a super long time. And another layer to that is buying mostly natural materials. Ever since I've really concentrated my efforts on this in the past, like honestly this year, like I've been mostly shopping secondhand, but not super paying attention to materials. Now within this past like year or so, I've really been paying attention to materials and I can see the payoff it has in the clothing that is mostly natural. Like it just lasts so much longer. It's one of those things where like you don't really realize it until you're living it. Like, wow, having natural material clothing really does make a huge difference in the longevity of it. And does it look dingy? Does it look worn? Is it wearing thin? Does it have holes in it? Like if it's really good quality materials to begin with, like you most likely won't have those issues. And building my wardrobe the way I'm building it, I want my things to last like decades, you know? I don't want to have to be constantly repurchasing fast fashion, shitty fashion that's going to fall apart and become threads of what it once was. And I'm telling you, I have saved money doing this because not only am I slowing down my shopping habits in general, if you know, you know, I'm on my no buy, nothing new challenge. So that like obviously helps not bring a ton of newness into my closet constantly, but also really being picky and really being intentional about what does make it into my closet has been a game changer because now I love everything that's in there. I'm being super intentional if something new comes in, and only if there's like truly a wardrobe gap, which I do have. Like I love everything that's in my closet, but I wish I had more, you know, but not more for the sake of having more for the sake of being able to like fully flesh out outfits that I envision in my head. Like I feel like I'm getting close, but there definitely are a few things on the list that I'm like really itching for a thrift trip, which is a perfect segue into my next point, layering on top of not only do I not buy fast fashion, I really aim to buy everything secondhand, which is where my no buy, nothing new challenge for this year has come in and really, again, slowed down the purchasing cycle, but has made me really intentional. And anything that's secondhand, it's hard to find kind of like cute secondhand things as is, but layer on cute secondhand things that are natural materials. And it's like, okay, this is a whole different ball game. I have to be really precise with that. I like the fit of it. I like the color of it and the materials. And it's just like a really good filter to make sure nothing enters my wardrobe that I'm going to get rid of within like a year or two. I want things in my wardrobe that are going to be there minimum 5 years. Like I said, I want these things to last decades. And obviously, when you buy less, you save money. I mean, come on, it's really that simple. Next up, this is very beauty focused. Beyond not buying any really new makeup constantly, like I definitely last year really had like a very experimental phase with like lip product and like really wanting to find something that suited my lips and the size and the shade and like, you know, XYZ. But now I kind of have this philosophy of if there's some makeup that I want to try, but I don't know if I'm going to love it, obviously, I will always opt for the travel size of it. I have a few things here with me. So first and foremost, I have the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, and it is the travel size. And the stuff is expensive as is, but like I'm not someone that's wearing foundation on the daily. I do not need foundation daily, nor do I like wearing it on my face. So something like a travel size is perfect for me where I have events that I'll go to very occasionally, but I do not need this in heavy rotation. And I wanted to try it for the first time. I did fall in love with it, but even then I still would not purchase the full big size of it because I would just simply would not use it before it expires. Same with like my little Hula Benefit. I didn't realize that there were literally 3 sizes of this when I was in Sephora last, but just this little travel size is perfect for me. I'm not someone who bronzes all the time, so I don't need like the massive palette of bronzer, nor am I a makeup artist that genuinely needs that like for work or anything. And then mascaras are something I buy explicitly in travel sizes, mostly because I do like experimenting with mascaras and trying out a bunch of different ones, but also mascara is only actually really good for 6 months. And if you're using it past that, you risk like infection, or maybe just the formula's not working, or it's getting flaky and dry and leaving flakes on your under eyes. And like, it's just at that point, in essence, it's expired and you should just toss it. And I found that there's no way I'm using an entire tube of mascara in 6 months. I feel like I bought this Tower 28 in August or September maybe, and I'm just now getting through it. So it is still past that 6-month mark, and it's a travel size. So imagine like I had a full tube of this, it hit 6 months, and what I'm gonna do, just like throw away the rest of it? That seems super wasteful. I'm saving money by buying the travel size and using it within its time span, like its lifespan, versus paying for the full size and not even being able to use all of it. So it's like a double whammy of like wasting your money and wasting product, and it's just not good for the environment. And also, Sephora does have like a packaging take back program. I believe they're partnered with TerraCycle. I could be wrong about that, but you can bring your empty makeup products and they will help dispose of them and recycle them responsibly, which I'm a huge fan of, obviously. I think packaging waste is really low-hanging fruit in the sustainability movement, but it is good that brands are taking some sort of responsibility in the waste crisis and taking back some of those packaging waste products. Let's talk food. One of my favorite things to talk about. Honestly, it's so important to life, and I feel like it's really easy to talk about food, but not in like a meaningful way, but just like to skim over it. But I actually have, I think, the most bullet points in food out of all these other categories. And I think it is something you need to do. You need to eat. You need to fuel your body, whether you like it or not. That's one of our necessities in life. It is a place where you can either splurge or be on a budget, or of course be in between somewhere. But I find that when we're talking about sustainability, it is super, super important. I think because it's a necessity, we overlook how easy it is to have an impact in terms of sustainability with our diet alone. Number one, this is really for my finance people, my personal finance people. Buying an $8 latte is not for me, not when I can make my coffee at home. It's consistent, it's reliable, it is a fraction of the price as it is to buy it out. Buying like a jug of oat milk and coffee beans for the month is just infinitely cheaper than it is to like go out and buy it out of convenience. Also, I'm making it at home. I'm not using any disposables. I'm not using K-cups. I'm not using Nespresso pods. I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with those other than the fact that they are super, super wasteful. So I do encourage you, if you have like an at-home coffee setup or tea setup or matcha setup, lemonade setup, whatever your drink of choice is looking into either bulk items or just buying things that are less wasteful or things that you can make at home, in the sense like I have an espresso machine where I grind the beans, I put in the espresso grinds and I make it, and there's no waste other than like the coffee pod, and even that we compost. So it feels like it's a zero waste lifestyle, and it's just so much cheaper, and I really encourage you to do that as well. Obviously, like I could make our own oat milk, but I haven't really gotten there yet. Maybe I'll give that another go, actually, now that I'm saying that out loud. But yeah, it's definitely lower waste, it's more sustainable, and it's just way better for your wallet versus buying coffee out all the time. Even in the office, like there are Nespresso pods, but I do bring my own cup and I try to take advantage of the coffee that they have at the office just to save a little bit more money. It definitely goes a long way when I'm not buying $7, $8, $9 lattes in the city. Also tying into work, I like 99.9% of the time have a packed lunch from leftovers from the night before. This is, I mean, obviously great for your wallet for a number of reasons. Like you're not buying things in the city. I mean, for me, I work in the city, so I'm not buying things in the city that are expensive to begin with, because Manhattan is an island, y'all. Like everything is imported the same way it's imported to Hawaii. So it's similar in that sense of like you're going to be paying built-in kind of costs for like transportation for it to get there, refrigeration for it to stay good, unpackaging, like all the labor that goes into it. Like you're paying those prices because everything's imported, it's super expensive, etc., etc. Cost of living is higher, like all of those things are rolled into it. And then also, if you're someone who cooks dinner, which is something we'll get to on this list, having your leftovers is stopping you from buying lunch, but it's also helping save your fridge, your food budget from food waste. This is another huge area of emissions of big agriculture, and I feel very strongly that you should not let any food go to waste. I mean, personally, my parents are like, there are children starving all over the world, like finish your plate. And like, honestly, it might have given me a little bit of a complex because I cannot go a meal without almost licking my plate clean because of it, but also just the environmental impacts of like throwing food away, wasting it. Like there's so many steps in the supply chain that it took to get to you. Just don't waste it. Use it, freeze it before it goes bad. Buy less if you find that you're not finishing things in time before they expire. So that's another really, really big one that saves so much money. If you think about it, buying lunch in the city is like closer to $20 now than it used to be like $15. So I'm saving a lot of money that way. I go into the city like 1 to 3 times a week, really. So if I'm not spending $20 every time I go to the office every week, at the lowest end, that's $80. At the highest end, that's $240. every month on lunch. So yeah, that is a big swap for me. Oh, and also you're not contributing again to package waste of like takeout food, to go food, unless you're sitting down and having lunch, like your job allows for that. That's kind of a different story, but most of the time it's takeout, and that also is contributing to packaging waste. We're a household that is mainly ingredient focused. So what's the swap there? We don't really buy a lot of snacks. We have a lot of like fruit, we have bread, we make a lot of bread, and we have the ingredients to make snacks versus like buying snacks, if that makes sense. So rather than like, let's say one of our goals this year is instead of just buying pasta sauce or salsa consistently and repeatedly, we'd love to grow our own tomatoes or buy tomatoes and make them from scratch rather than constantly buying like the packaged item. There is that kind of like general rule of thumb when it comes to healthy eating to stay on the outer perimeter of the grocery store, because everything on the inner perimeter is usually chock full of additives, preservatives, things that are just way too much added sugar. We're kind of like that, but like we'll buy flour and oil and salt and spices and stuff like that you do need to have like nutritious and good tasting food. But focusing our grocery budget mainly on ingredients not only is like an investment in our health and it's a good sustainable swap in that way, but again, it is very expensive to be buying snacks all the time. And that is something that we found we would way rather snack on fruit or like make a quick PB&J versus like constantly buying little granola bars here and there, or I don't even know, like cereal in the morning. If you are looking to reduce your overall grocery budget, take a look at how much you're spending on like snacky items like chips, granola bars. I don't even, it's been so long since we like shopped those aisles. I'm like trying to think. Staying on the outer perimeter is a good rule of thumb. Lastly, for food, this one is major, and I kind of want to like scream it from the rooftops, but it is to eat less red meat. And not only is this major and price savings, but it has such a huge environmental impact. Why does it have such a huge environmental impact? I might make an entirely separate video on it, but you have the land that the cattle have to graze on. Then you have the water that goes into growing the feed. So you have the land they graze on, the land for their feed, and all the agriculture that goes into that. Not to mention, methane is a contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, and cows poop, they fart. So they let out a lot of methane, which is adding to the greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere. And then also they have to, butcher it. They have to transport it. It's just not ethical. It's cruel. Like we know that, but it is also super expensive to eat red meat now. And I just feel like there are so many cons to it. Like you really should not be eating red meat daily, maybe weekly, maybe as like a medicine for you. It's linked to coronary disease and clogged arteries. Like it's not a joke, and everyone's like, oh, it's the American diet. The American diet is not healthy. I think we know that. But yeah, we are on a shift to eating more plant-based. Well, I feel like plant-based is like vegan. So I guess more vegetarian meals. Like we do still have animal byproduct, but in a perfect world, we'd be vegan. I have some reservations about going vegan because I feel like for myself, things can get pretty extreme for me, and I want to make sure I'm nourishing myself, and I'd want to do that in a way that is still healthy for me. And I just haven't like pulled the trigger on that, to be honest with you. But eating less red meat is such a quick and easy way to save money. And you're like, well, what do I eat for protein? You could eat chickpeas, any sort of legumes. You could eat nuts. You could have tofu. What else do we eat? There are plenty of other meats out there besides red meat. You can have poultry. You can have fish. It's not that hard to swap out red meat, but it's even better to go vegetarian, and even better than that, to go vegan. I mean, to each their own. I'm not pushing any sort of like nutritional advice. Like I think do what works for you, your family, your body, but just like food for thought. If you thought ChatGPT is bad, like look at what's on your plate and then reevaluate. Last few little tidbits for lifestyle. We have stopped like actively purchasing paper towels in favor of these little microfiber cloths. These probably aren't like the most sustainable option, but this was like, in a sense, been gifted to us. We had someone give us like a big sleeve of microfibers. And even if these weren't gifted to us, we would have bought something very similar to this. This is something that's a very like upfront heavy cost, but like over the course of time, like you just have to throw these in the wash and they'll be good to go and use again. And they replace paper towels. They get surfaces cleaner. They don't scratch them. They're not dirty, like they're not gross. You just throw them in the hamper when you're done with them and wash them once a week. This is very like sustainable coded, but like you could buy the Swedish paper towels or washcloths or just any sort of alternative to paper products like is a good alternative to use. I'm not trying to demonize paper towels, but this has definitely saved us from purchasing and repurchasing, similar to like menstrual products, just all those paper products that all you do is dispose of them when you're done with them. And my Hydro Flask. This is like sustainability 101. Everyone's kind of like sustainable granola crunchy starter pack or whatever is like a Hydro Flask water bottle or a jar and chacos and like thrifted t-shirts, like that kind of vibe. But this is just such an easy sustainable swap that does save us a lot of money. Water bottles are not cheap in the sense of like the disposable plastic ones. And also water companies, like the markup that they're selling you plastic. Water is a free resource that you could get from your fridge with a filter. We actually have gotten notices about like lead pipes and minerals kind of in the water. So we do really try to stay on top of like our water filter and make sure obviously it's up to date, it's filtering our water and we're not ingesting anything like super harmful. I know, unfortunately, clean water is not accessible to everyone everywhere. And in that case, I would encourage you to look into a big filtration system, either to keep in your fridge or on your countertop, and just a way to have clean, accessible drinking water to you as best as possible. Going back to water usage in AI data centers, I know that a lot of AI data centers are draining water resources in local communities, which is absolutely devastating and heartbreaking. So if you have a town hall coming up, if someone's voting on an AI data center, vote no. You know what to do. Use your voice. This is still something that does save me a lot of money up front. Again, this is like, what, $30 for a bottle. And you can even get them at like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, those kinds of places, even cheaper for like 10, 15. And it kind of pays for itself within a few uses. So highly recommend. I really don't go anywhere. I have 3. I have a travel one, I have my at-home one or in the car one, and then my work one that I bring with me, and they have water available there as well. So I'm like never buying water bottles. It's amazing. Lastly, even though I live in New Jersey, my partner and I are a 1-car household. This is obviously saving like thousands of dollars up front by not purchasing another car. But because of that, we, go everywhere together, or I take the car or he takes the car, or I take public transit. I utilize mass transit to get to work. It is not convenient. I'll tell you that much. I mean, it's convenient in the sense that like there's a station nearby enough to where I can walk to or he can drop me off at. And if like that one I miss, unfortunately, due to timing, then there are other stations and options around the area, which is really amazing. But it is definitely not easier in terms of timing, but like we make it work, and I make that conscious effort and decision to utilize mass transit as much as possible to get me from place to place. Again, it takes longer, but I'm not sitting in traffic. I'm not commuting into work and paying tolls to get into the city. I'm not paying for parking because I'm not the one driving myself to the station and then taking the train or the bus or whatever. So it is really nice that we're a 1-car household. And like, I love my partner so much. He takes the time out of his day to drive me places if I need to, or like drop me off at the train so I don't have to walk. It's really not that far, but it's like also some time for us to spend together and just like start our day off right. And like, he'll even drive me to his work and drop me off at the station near his work. And like, we spend that time kind of commuting together and spending time together. But I love paying for the train. I would way rather do that than pay insurance and a car note and repairs and gas. And I mean, like, I personally would get a used electric vehicle if I ever needed to get a car, which like when we have a family, we'll probably have more of a need to have 2 cars. But as it stands right now, we are a single household family, which is definitely a privilege because of the transit that is available in our area. But it's a privilege that we are acknowledging and using to its full potential. Like, we're not like, oh, like, yeah, the train is there down the road, but we should get 2 cars anyway. Like, that's not what we're doing. We are making that effort and that decision to utilize the public transit when I can, which is a blessing, and I love it, and I do not take it for granted. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video inspired you to make some swaps in your day-to-day life, or just think about your purchasing a little bit more intentionally and save up for like an upfront sustainable swap. But again, I also want to emphasize, do not throw anything that you have away just to make the sustainable swap. Use what you have to its full potential until it's got no more life left in it, then replace it with something more sustainable. But I really, really emphasize, like, it might cost you a little bit more upfront, but in the long run, these investments have saved me, I don't even know how much money, like definitely at least thousands and thousands of dollars, which I super appreciate and allows me to spend more money on things like experiences or anything else, really, anything that I want, rather than being tied to like constantly replacing things that are meant to be disposable. If you spent your time here today with me, I really, really appreciate it. I would love if you subscribe down below. Leave a comment of any swaps that you've made in your life that have like changed your life, saved you money. I would love to know. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Until then, don't forget to be kind to yourself, others, and the planet. Bye.